Hello everyone, Trophy Wine Hunter. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a review of a Burgundy wine. It's from a producer called Albert Bichot and it's their 2015 Savigny Les Beaune. Albert Bichot is a long-time negociant in the Burgundy region, have been around since 1831, and they're quite a large landowner, about 100 hectares of land. They own land in lots of different regions in Burgundy. With Burgundy, just as a refresher, all the red wines, generally speaking, all of the wines are made with Pinot Noir, and most of the white wines are made with Chardonnay. There are exceptions in certain regions. Albert Bichot is a producer that I really enjoy. Not as popular as some of the other ones like Savigny and Jadot, but I think they produce some really nice wines, and because they're not as popular, their pricing is a little bit better. If you kind of recall in terms of my Burgundy Basics series, with Burgundy, there's kind of different levels of classification, and so this would be the second level. The first level would be just Bourgogne wines, which means the grapes can come from anywhere in Burgundy. This is the second level, which is the village. So it comes from the village of Savigny Les Beaune. So that's a smaller region than the whole of Burgundy. And then when you get up to Premier Cru, there's some good sites that are even smaller. And then Grand Cru sites, which could be of the same size as Premier Cru, but should be a better site to grow the grapes. It's not necessarily true that every Premier Cru or Grand Cru wine is better than every village wine, but certainly does help because first of all, you have more concentration of the grapes in a certain area, so there's more characteristic, but also what it doesn't apply to other regions, it is partly a classification system based on quality. So when the people did the classification or mapped out in the 1700s or 1800s which areas are Grand Cru and Premier Cru, those were seen to be the best areas to grow the Pinot Noir grape. And since you're growing the same grape type, and generally speaking, you're talking about a very similar soil, the location of the vineyard does make a difference. So I would say in most instances, a Grand Cru is going to be probably higher rating or of better quality or more complexity than a village wine, but not always the case. Having said that, that doesn't mean that these wines are not great, and that's why I've had this wine in my cellar. It has got a 90-point rating, and I remember drinking this a couple of years ago, really enjoyed it, and that's why I bought some more bottles. And I've now aged it for a little while, and I've had this now in the fridge for a couple of nights. I did have it at a dinner with my friends at Boulevard Restaurant in town. And so let's see how it tastes at this point. So on the smell, very pleasant, very good aroma, basically cherries, a little bit of oak on there. I will put in the comment section, they do age in oak, I believe, quite an extended period, like 14 to 20 months. And I think 20 or 25% is new oak. So there is some oak aging on this wine, even though it's a village wine. It's priced at BC liquor stores around $67, and with tax probably that's about $80. And you might think that's a lot for a Burgundy wine, but the prices of Burgundy wines obviously have skyrocketed in the last couple of years. So for the quality, I actually think it's a pretty decent price. So this wine gives me a lot of the Beaune region, lots of cherry, a little bit tart cherry, but fresh, definitely fresh cherries, and a little bit of a residual oak on there, a little bit of toastiness, vanilla, but mostly cherry and strawberry flavors and aromas. I wouldn't say it's exceptionally complex, but it's a wonderful drinking wine. And so I agree with the Wine Inspector rating. I'm going to give this 90 points. And I think we have to distinguish in terms of when we talk about points, or we talk about whether it's drinking a pleasurable drink or not, it doesn't always have to be complex. And from my perspective, this is a great wine to drink. I love this. At this point, after 7 years of aging, I think it's lost a bit of its baby fat or tannins, and it's really quite nice this time in its life cycle. So probably will drink well for the next 3 or 4 years. This is not a wine for collectors to make money on. It's not, you know, a wine that you should cellar for 40 years. But that doesn't mean it's not a great wine. And so I really enjoy this because it's got that nice tart cherry, lots of vibrant fruit, and very characteristic of that region, the Savigny Les Beaune region. And so if you like that raw fruit, you like the lighter style wine, I think you'll really enjoy this wine. It's a really pleasurable wine to taste. The other nice thing about this wine is that I think it's got a lot of intensity of flavor. So you could really just sip this without food. It can go well with food, probably a little bit lighter food like cheeses, chicken dishes. I'm not sure it would go that well with fish dishes, maybe tuna, but I really enjoy this wine. And so it's, I wouldn't say overly complex, but a really, really pleasurable wine. And again, I think the vintage that's available in liquor stores now is 2020. So just extrapolating, I think 2020 was also a very good year in Burgundy, like 2015. So if you extrapolate, basically, you'll drink pretty well in 2028. It will probably start drinking well in about 2025. So I think this wine has firmed up from the first time I tasted it 2 or 3 years ago, but exceptional Burgundy, you know, simple, everyday type Burgundy that I think it's just pleasurable, that's all. Hope you've enjoyed this tasting. Until next time, happy drinking.